Beginning our summary of chapter 20, we are in the Baroque Northern Europe, and this does not look like the Baroque of the South, thinking of Caravaggio in Italy. We see some big changes. One being, this is the Dutch Republic, and the Dutch Republic is vastly successful in Holland and the Netherlands because of an open market society. Much of the reason for this is because they are located along the coastline, so they have a very successful sea trade, a renowned international trade, so they're able to get products from all over the place. This also the freedom from the Spaniards. They continued to have war with Flanders in the south, so the northern Netherlands, which I'll refer to as Holland, has a newfound freedom. So they have this independent republic that is known as the Dutch Republic. So this leads to a great expanse of paintings. So this is in Amsterdam, Leiden, Haarlem area. We see a growing number of genre paintings, as well as still life, landscape painters. Portraiture is very big. Within that portraiture, we see single portraits as well as family portraits and civic group portraits. So massive canvases that contain portraits of, like a whole militia group. We do still see some religious paintings, but that is mainly in the southern part in Flanders, the southern part of the Netherlands. This is a Catholic center. We see Peter Paul Rubens' work, who has very robust figures. Think of Michelangelo and the Sistine Chapel. His figures are very muscular. There's tons of movement and emotion. They're heroic. He's known for the elevation of the cross, as well as his series of Marie de Medici that is currently in the Louvre. Large, huge canvases. He's known for using bright reds and blues in his canvas. This particular area, Brussels and Flanders, the southern Netherlands, is much more similar to the Italian Baroque. Let me go back to the Dutch Republic for a minute, northern Netherlands. Within these genre paintings, there were specialists. Some of these artists are not making a living just doing painting, they're doing other things. There was a joke at the time that there were thousands of painters, and that there were twice as many painters as bakers and 4 times as many painters as butchers. But again, they don't earn solely their living by painting. But during this time, you have to become recognized by a certain style and subject matter by a buyer. So we see a lot of specialists in this particular marketplace. Also, the work is smaller and it's cheaper than before. Because of all these things that we have said too about the open market society, we have a new type of patron. Because this is a Protestant Calvinist area, we have a rejection of church artwork. So our patrons now are wealthy merchants who, because of their location on the sea, are taking pride in their things, and yet they are tempered with a reminder that life is transient. So you see these Vanitas still life paintings by Peter Klaas, Willem Kaff, Rachel Rush, Clara Peters, who make beautiful paintings of these objects, but they also incorporate a reference to death, reminding us of the transience of life and of these objects. Within Dutch homes, we see interest in portraying the interior of homes. So we see Jan Vermeer and Jan Stein. Jan Vermeer is known for using the camera obscura. Rembrandt is one of our probably most famous artists of the chapter. He is a master printmaker, but he's also a brilliant painter. Our devotion this week is on his work. He paints a lot of scripturally based artworks. So we see the prodigal son for the first time, a parable. We see stories from Matthew all kind of brought together. We see his portrayal of Samson. Then the chapter ends on a section about France. And this really leads us into chapter 21, which focuses on Neoclassicism. And France really becomes Europe's most powerful nation in the 17th century. Art flourishes here. We have a major patron in Louis XIV, who I'm sure you've heard lots about. He's an absolute monarch. He has moved the capital. He builds Versailles and moves it. He expands the Louvre. He basically funds the Royal Academy. It is brought about in 1648. He encourages and pushes a classical style and a French manner. That's where we see this idea of the grand manner come into play. He sends Claude Lorraine and Poussin to study in the south in Italy, to study those classics. But he is a major patron of art. He maintains at Versailles a workshop of artists who also specialize in different aspects of art, like the Dutch Republic, that specialize in certain things, very details, landscape, fur, faces, fabric. Louis XIV, the Sun King, is very much a huge patron of the arts. So keep this in mind as we next chapter move into Neoclassicism, because this really lays some serious groundwork for that 18th century Neoclassicism and Romantic movement that we see.